What is a G49 and what do I report on it? Just as a reminder, you can also file your returns and make payments using our e-filing services at hitax.hawaii.gov, where you can sign up to access and manage your tax accounts in addition to many types of services that we provide. Please be aware that if your tax liability exceeds $4,000 annually, you're required to electronically file and pay your returns. Failure to do so will result in a 2% penalty assessed on the total tax due. Also, when accessing your Hawaii Tax Online account, the tax account shown that ends with an R is the annual return and reconciliation. It does not mean that you have an additional license. What is the G49? To put it simply, the G49 Annual Return and Reconciliation Form is a summary of your gross receipts, which includes taxes collected and the payments you made within the taxable year. Even if you file your periodic G45s and/or you have no reportable income for the year, you are still required to file the G49. I bet you're wondering, well, I paid on my periods, why do I have to pay again on my annual? If you reported correctly on your periods, you normally would not owe on the annual. When is it due? The G49 for calendar year filers is due on April 20th of the following year, meaning if you are filing for the tax year ending 12/31/20, the G49 is due 4/20/21. For fiscal year filers, the G49 is due on the 20th day of the fourth month following the close of the fiscal year. For example, fiscal year ending 6/30/20, the G49 is due 10/20/20. What gets reported on the G49? The G49 gross receipts should be based off your books and records for the entire year, which is also what you report for individuals on your Schedule C, E, or F federal income tax returns. The amounts on your federal schedules should match your G49. A common misconception is that the G49 is comprised of the G45 periodics, and that total is what goes on your federal schedules. The reason for you not doing it that way is because you may have misreported on your G45s, either underreporting or overreporting your income. The G49 is where you would be able to correct it without being penalized if you owe additional and if filed timely, and that's why we give you 4 months to file the G49. Can I just file the annual only? No, there is no such thing as once-a-year filing with the exception of back filing for prior years. For example, in the year 2021, you may file the annual only for the tax years 2019 and prior. Even if you're filing for the current year, we will still require the period returns in addition to the annual. Before we get started on how to file, you may want to calculate the total payments you made, which will also include any penalties and interest that were assessed on the periods. You should also calculate your penalty and interest amounts separately. Remember to fill out the top of the form correctly and completely. The first page will be exactly like how you file your period returns, except that it's the gross receipts from your books and records for the whole year. For a detailed explanation on how to fill out your first page, please see the video tutorial, How to File Your G45. If you took any allowable exemptions or deductions on your G45s, you would need to claim it again on your annual, and a Schedule GE should be attached. Don't forget to sign a date on the bottom. Your return will not be posted to your account without a valid signature. Page 2 is also filled out like how you would your G45 from lines 18 to 28. Remember to put the amount, if applicable, from line 17 in the county surcharge and check the district you do business in. If you fail to input the total tax due on line 28, you will most likely receive an adjustment letter from our office. Don't worry, it's just us saying that you missed filling out a required field and our system automatically did it for you. Now for the slightly difficult part. Remember when I asked you to calculate your payments made and penalties and interest assessed? Well, here's where you'll put that information. Line 29 is the total combined penalties and interest based off your period returns. If you didn't have any, great job, and you can leave it blank. Add the amounts from line 28 and 29 to get your total amount owed on your GE. Then on line 31, put the exact amount of payments you made. If you did not receive a refund on your periods, put the same number from line 31 on line 33. If line 33 and line 30 are the same numbers, you're done. If line 33 is larger than line 30, then that means you over-reported on your periods and should be expecting a refund back. Input that amount on line 34. If line 33 is smaller than line 30, then that means you under-reported on your periods and owe additional taxes. Input that number on lines 35, 37, and 38, and remit payment and submit to our office by April 20th. If you are filing the G49 through Hawaii Tax Online, you will need to manually input your total payments made for the whole year. The system will not automatically insert that amount. If you miss this step, you'll be asked if you would like to make payments at this time. If you know that amount is exactly what you paid throughout the year, you can just select No. Once your return has been processed, our system will reconcile that amount for you. If you do not receive any notices from our department, whether e-filing or paper filing, then that means your gross receipts match what you reported and paid on your periods. Once you are finished with your return, you may mail it in or drop it off in the drop box at any of our district locations. We hope this video has been a great help to you, and we are always ready to provide you with additional assistance if need be. Thank you, and please stay safe and healthy.